Saudi Arabia just bought EA for 55 billion. The same country that bans alcohol, restricts women's rights, and has some of the most strict religious law in the world. They now own Madden, The Sims, and Battlefield. And I can't help but ask, why? How does that even make sense? A country that doesn't believe in the Western way of life just bought the company that makes games celebrating different lifestyles. That same thing that they don't like. I'm trying to figure out how that is not hypocritical. The California-based maker of popular titles like Battlefield and The Sims announced Tuesday that he closed the 55 billion sales of its business to Saudi Arabia's sovereign wealth fund on August 4, 2026. That was yesterday. Right? Yeah, that's right. The deal is done. EA is no longer a public company. Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, or PIF, now owns 93.4% of that company. One of the biggest names in gaming. The deal caused concerns amongst some fans of EA's massive library of games, particularly games like The Sims Champion inclusivity and LGBT plus relationship. In Saudi Arabia, consensual same-sex sexual conduct is punishable by death or flogging, whatever that means. So they want to own games that celebrate inclusivity, but in their country, being gay or lesbian is punishable by death. That's a contradiction right here. This proves my point because they're not changing their own country. They're just trying to buy a different image. In recent years, Saudi Arabia officials have said that its investment in the gaming industry is to help modernize the kingdom, but they have come with negative fallout due to the country's highly criticized human rights abuses. The country's also historically cracked down on female activists and LGBTQI+ rights, with legal repercussion for LGBT individuals, including imprisonment, fines, or death penalty, according to Amnesty International. They want to modernize their kingdom by buying Western games, but they're still cracking down on the same people that will be playing these games. Electronic Arts could be set for mass layoff following its acquisition by Saudi Arabia's PIF. Bloomberg reporter Jason Schreier, I hope I said it right, posted on Blue Sky that this amounts to a total debt of 18 billion, with the company having to pay around 1.8 billion per year in interest alone. 18 billion in debt. That's not nothing. That's not a small number. And EA now has to pay that 1.8 billion per year on interest alone. Mass layoffs, more aggressive monetization, and other big cost-cutting measures for one of the industry's biggest companies. Mass layoffs, more aggressive monetization, that means more microtransaction, more battle passes, more ways to squeeze money out of you. Another reason why I believe this is really bad for the gaming industry, especially the games that EA owns, because now that they bought the company, they loaded it with debt, and the workers and us players are the one who I think will have to pay for that. Critics are worried about what this new ownership could mean for EA games down the road. With this deal, Saudi Arabia and Jared Kushner just bought access to 700 million players worldwide. UK-based campaign Block the Deal wrote, 700 million players they just bought access to. They want you to associate Saudi Arabia with fun, with entertainment, with things you love. But here's the problem. They bought EA for 55 billion. They own 93.4% of it. And they're not going to change the games, at least not now, not yet. They need you and me and everyone else to keep buying them. So they're using games as a shield. You play FIFA, you forget who owns it. That's the strategy. I am not saying I understand it. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just saying it doesn't add up. A country with strict religious laws owns the games that celebrate everything they supposedly opposed. That's a contradiction. And with 18 billion in debt and mass layoff already on the table, it's us players and the workers who will pay this. We will pay for this deal. Or you guys, if you buy EA Games, not the people who made the deal. I think we should be paying attention. And if you want more gaming industry breakdowns, subscribe.